What's up, guys, and welcome back to the KeepItTechie channel, where we dive into all things Linux and help you get your tech game strong. I'm Josh, and today we're going to talk about securing your server with Fail2ban on Ubuntu 24.04. Now, if you've ever been worried about those pesky brute force attacks or just want to add an extra layer of security to your server, this video is for you. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's jump into it. All right, before we dive into installing and configuring Fail2ban, let's go over what it is and why it's so important. Now, Fail2ban is an awesome tool that helps protect your server from brute force attacks. It works by monitoring your log files for failed login attempts, and then automatically banning IP addresses that show malicious signs, like too many password failures. Just think of it like a bouncer for your server. And it's funny because I used to be a bouncer at a club in my hometown for a minute, but it's essentially the same concept, kicking out the bad guys before they could cause trouble. So throughout this video, we'll cover how Fail2ban works, the basic concepts you need to understand, and some real world examples on why it's such a lifesaver. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why Fail2ban is a must-have for any server admin. Before we move forward, I wanted to give a quick shout out to CIQ, the official partner of Rocky Linux. Rocky Linux is a Linux distribution that is intended to be a downstream complete binary compatible release using the Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system source code. The project is led by Gregory Kurtzer, who was the founder of the CentOS project. So check out Rocky Linux at ciq.co. All right, so let's get our hands dirty, and I'm SSH'd into our Ubuntu 24.04 server that we've been working with and going through and installing all these different services on. And as you can see, it has that static IP address. It also has a web server on it, MySQL, and all the other things that we did within the last couple videos on Ubuntu 24.04 server. Now, the first thing is there's a known bug that might prevent you from starting Fail2ban service on Ubuntu 24.04. Now, luckily, there's a fix that has been proposed, and it's going to be pushed to all of Ubuntu servers 24.04 in a minimum of 7 days. They're just going through the process of testing before they push the software and add it to the main repository. But I'm going to show you guys how to install the fix from the proposed repository, which is currently where the new package is located. So first off, we need to make some changes to our sources list, and I'll show you guys how to do that. And this is basically adding that proposed repository to your server. And it's super quick. You can remove it once the new package comes out. Just want to show you guys how to get around it, or at least use that proposed version, because they want people to start testing it anyway, just to verify that it's going to work before they push it out to all the servers, because it could cause another bug. You know what I'm saying? So testing is very important. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to go on and do this video today, because I know a lot of people are struggling with it, which I was struggling with it when I ran into this bug a while back when I was playing around with Fail2ban on 24.04. I had some issues starting the services. And so I started searching Google, and come to find out there was a bug with the package. And so I've been tracking it for a while. I had that bug page up and tagged on my system, just watching all the changes. And yeah, they finally got a proposed fixed package for it. So that's another reason why I want to go on and do this today. And so it's under etc, and then apps, and then our sources list.d, and then I believe it's ubuntu.sources. Yeah, that's it. So let's go on, press enter there, and you can use whatever text editor you want for this. I just want to show you guys that right fast. So, and then all we have to do is copy what's there, at least one of these repositories. We can just copy it, that way we can keep it in the same format. Let's go down a line and paste that in there, and what we're gonna do is make some changes to it right fast. Deb is the type, and then the URL is the same. The suite is the noble proposed, and so we could just go down here or go back up and add the repository suite. So I already have it copied just because you have to put this stuff in a new format now, at least in 24.04. Based on what I've seen, you have to add the repositories a certain way, and it has to be signed by the keyring, Ubuntu archive keyring, GPG key. That way you're just verifying that you're getting it from the correct location. And then everything else is pretty much the same. So component, main, restricted, universe, multiverse, that's fine. And then the sign by, so we're good to go. So this will add that noble proposed repository for us. So let's go down and hit Control X and save our changes to it. And now let's just run a sudo apt update. And this will refresh all the repositories on the system. And you'll see the repository there as well. You'll start seeing that popping up there. So we're good to go. Now, let's go down and install the proper package, or the testing package that's currently out there right now. And all we have to do is type sudo apt install, and then we have to type the package name, because it's gonna default to the main repository. We don't want to do that. We want to put a / in there, and this will allow us to type in a different repository, which we want to use that noble, and I gotta make sure I spell it, but noble proposed. And this will install the package from the proposed repository. So let's go and press enter. That'll go through and install our new package on there that's out there right now with the fixes to that bug. And that's, like I said, this is another reason I wanted to show this today, because there is currently a fix out there. Now, I haven't tested it, so we gonna be the first. We gonna see if it actually works. I've seen other people tested it, like I said, on the bug page, and they said it works fine. But this is the first time I'm doing it, so that's cool. We got the new fixed version of Fail2ban installed on Ubuntu 24.04. Let's go down and clear right fast. All right, so now that our installation is complete of the new package, let's go down and do some configuring right fast. And it's one file that we need to look at, and it's called gel.conf. So all you have to do is copy it first. And this is one cool thing about Fail2ban. And like I've always said, the configuration files are stored under etc, and then a folder for each application that you're installing on the system. So what we're looking for is gel.conf. And what we want to do is copy that. That'll be our original configuration file. And we want to make a copy of that and name it gel.local. And that's one cool thing, like I was saying a little minute ago before I got sidetracked, that this application will look for a local file first, and then it will go to the config if it doesn't find a local file. But if you have a local file there, it'll default to that first. So we always have our backup as that gel.conf instead of the gel.local, and we can make all our changes to the gel.local. So go and press enter, and now let's go down and configure it. So let's go sudo nano. You can use whatever text editor you want, etc, Fail2ban, and then our gel.local file. Press enter, and this is our configuration file. This is the only file we need to touch for Fail2ban. If we go down here to where SSHD is stored, let's go down and set this thing up right fast. So let's uncomment this out, boom. And first step is to set the enable to true, which is already set there. We just have to uncomment it out. But let's put some other features in here. One thing you have to specify is the port. So let's type ports and equals SSH, and SSH has always been port 22. And so most files have that locked in. So it's probably locked into the application somewhere where it knows that it's port 22. So don't worry about it. You can just put in SSH. It knows what port it is. Now, the next thing we have to type in is a filter. And the filter is what will be used to search within our authentication logs. And what we're looking for is SSHD. And I'll show you guys this in a second once we get out of this configuration file. I want to show you guys the actual authentication logs that this looks at. So let's type log path, and then the log path is stored under var log and then auth.log, so authentication logs. And let me put a space in there just to make sure it's uniformed. And now the last thing we need to do is the amount of retries. Now this is the bread and butter of Fail2ban, so to speak. You could set how many times people can fail typing in a password before they block the IP. You know what I'm saying? So that's how Fail2ban works. It looks at the authentication logs, and within those authentication logs, what it does is it tracks the IP address, where it's actually coming from. So whatever device or whatever country IP or regional IP, whatever that IP address is that these requests are coming from, VPN IP addresses, a lot of times that's what they're using, or whatever the IP address is, it's getting blocked. based on the authentication logs and the max retries. And basically Fail2ban is just scanning those authentication logs all the time to see what passwords are being failed. You know what I'm saying? And it's all based on the service that you want to protect. So we're good to go with this. We had it set up properly. Let me show you guys the log file that it's going to look at. Let's save this, press enter, and then let's type in, let's try this sudo, and let me clear right fast so you guys can see what I'm doing. So sudo cat, I'm gonna use the cat command, and then var log, and then it's the auth.log. And then let's grab this and drop and search for a specific term, which is SSH. This is specifically what Fail2ban is going to do now once we turned on SSH. And I just want to show you guys. It's basically going to look through these authentication logs and it's going to filter by SSHD, which is the same thing I'm doing with this command. So press enter. And as you can see, it pulls up all our authentication logs. And then also you should be able to see the IP address. So it'll be there like their public IP address. So if you're logging into the server from, let's say, a remote location and you have Fail2ban set on it, and let's say someone within your organization connecting from that main IP address keeps hitting that server and it reaches those max retries, it's going to ban that IP. So nobody will be able to access the server. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware of how it works specifically. It'll be looking through here. It'll grab the IP and it'll put that in a ban list, and it will ban any connections from that IP address for SSH or whatever you're protecting. And so let's go on and clear right fast, because now the last step really is to restore Fail2ban. And this is the moment of truth, because like I said, I don't know if this package is gonna work. I haven't tested it yet. This will be my test on video. So let's type restart Fail2ban. Now, if this does not work, that means this package is not working that they put out there, that proposed package that they put out there. So let's check the status of it right fast. Let's type status and then Fail2ban. Moment of truth. Boom. Yeah. And if failed, oh man. So wait, if this video is up, that means I figured out what the problem is. I'm gonna tell you guys what's wrong with it. One thing we could check is the configuration file. This is something I used to do, or I used to show in videos a while back. So if you type sudo fail2ban client and then -d is what I remember. So let's press enter. Let's see if that works. Okay, let's see. So failed during configuration while reading from etc local line 280 section. SSHD already exist. Okay. All right. So it's a syntax error. So we're not out the water yet. So let's hop over to back to the configuration file right fast. So let's go sudo nano etc and then jail.local and press enter. All right, so for what I'm seeing, or from what that error said, it said that there was SSHD already here. So what we're gonna do is search for it. Let's do Control W. This will allow us to search for something specific. So let's go SSHD and let's press enter. Obviously it's gonna find this first one, and then we can do it again. So Control W, press enter. That'll bring the next one up. Control W, enter, boom, and there we go. That's probably where we should have done it right there. Yeah, this is where we should have possibly done it. So it's actually already activated on this server. That's crazy. I forgot that it does this now. What I'm gonna do is comment all this out, because it's the same thing that I typed in up at the top. You can use this, what's already, I didn't know that they activated this already. I think before they didn't activate this in the past, but yeah, you can set it up right up at the top. So that's pretty much the issue. So let's go down and close this out, boom. And now let's try to restart our service, or actually let's check the configuration file again. And looks like we got an issue here as well. So let me try to fix this. All right, fast. And I think this will work. I'm not 100% sure. Hold on. Let's see dates. We're gonna try to start it regardless. So let's go on and start it right fast. Let's see what happens. Let's just go back in here. Right now it still failed. So let's start the service now and see what happened. And like I said, if I put this up, that means I fixed it. Okay. All right. So it's active and running. That was just a whole bunch of gibberish, or it may have been something I need to look into. I'll probably look into it. Maybe it's because we don't have a ban time set. Yeah. And it's a whole bunch of other like little options you can set in here that we have not set yet. Like I said, I just wanted to get it working for us. And then also this lets us know that this package is actually working, so we can go in and modify our configurations now. Let me quickly show you guys this again, but if I exit out I'm gonna exit out, and then let's try to log back into it. And I'm gonna log in with the wrong password, or try to log in with the wrong password. And then I'm not gonna do it 5 times because I don't want to ban my IP address. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to go back over to the server and do it. But I just wanted to show you guys at least this again. So let's go sudo cats, and then our var log, and then our authentication log. And I just wanted to show you guys what it's actually looking for again. And you can see specifically what it's looking for when it comes to failures. And so let's type SSHD, press enter, type in our sudo password, boom, and we can see a failed password attempt right here with the IP address. So this is what SSH or the jail is actually looking for, fail2ban. Go down clear again, because there's one more thing I wanted to show you guys, and that essentially is the status using that client command that we just used to check our configuration file. You can use that as well to get the status of the server. So fail2ban client, and this will really let us know if SSH is being blocked or tracked right now. Enter, and yeah, we have that one jail set up, SSHD, and it'll start listing out like blocked IPs once it starts gathering IPs. And a lot of times, like I said, once these servers are connected to the internet, people gonna start brute forcing them. They find them. I don't know how they find them, but they find them right away. And they start pushing out brute forces to the servers. And that's why I recommend you guys setting up fail2ban right away. And then you can specify the ban times. I think I had indefinite on one of them. So I have a whole bunch of IP addresses. I can go look in one of my other servers. I probably got a whole bunch of IP addresses. And I just be tracking them just to track them, just see where these people are trying to come from. It's either VPN services or the Tor network or the dark web, going through the dark web. Obviously, it's going to pull up a surface level IP address once it goes through all the connections that are made through the Tor network, but still it blocks that IP address. All right, so you've taken a big step towards securing your server with fail2ban. By setting up this nifty tool, you're making it a lot harder for attackers to brute force their way into your system. Now remember, security is all about layers, and fail2ban adds a solid one. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the KeepItTechie channel for more Linux tutorials, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Also, drop a comment if you have any questions or if there's another topic you'd like me to cover. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep it techie.